chains and you can't tie me down.
Hi guys, welcome back to Swift Reactions. Today we're going to be having a look at Midnight Oil and Blue Sky Mine. Now, my father was a coal miner, so as a miner's daughter, this song is kind of special to me. It's been a long time since I've heard this song, but it's kind of got a very sad history. I don't pretend to be an expert on it, but I do know a little bit about this song. It was largely inspired by the events surrounding the Whitnam mines. It was an asbestos mine. I think it started back in the 30s and I think went through to about the 50s, and by then a large town had been built up around the mine and people started getting sick. People started getting very sick, which the government should have known, because in 1920 they did studies on asbestos and found that it would make people very sick. So after years and years of people watching the trucks with the blue asbestos floating through town and all the asbestos dust scattering all over the town, eventually the town was shut down and many people took the mines to court, the government to court and so forth, and it was a huge thing in Australian history. To put it in perspective, it was one of the biggest exclusion zones ever at the time. And I believe it's about 20% of the region that Chernobyl, the exclusion zone around Chernobyl with their nuclear meltdown. So this was absolutely catastrophic. So let's check it out.
An Exxon oil tanker, the CSR company, faced tough questioning at the company's annual general meeting today from Chernobyl, million gallons concerned that payouts to workers affected by asbestos have financially.
Okay, so just then they were talking about the CSR company and stuff. So just for context in this song, CSR was actually the sugar company who owned the company that ran the Whitnam mine. So sad song, but I love her harmonica. I'm watching Peter Garrett just bust out in the desert. I love it. He's so passionate.
Up and broken. My life that is lived is no more than a token. Who strike the flint upon the stone and tell me why? If I yell out at night, there's a reply of blue silence. The screen is no comfort, I can't speak my sentence. They blew the lights at heaven's gate, and I don't know why. But if I work all day on the blue sky mine, hoppers lie to the shareholders. They're crossing their fingers, they pay the truth makers. The balance sheet is breaking up the sky.
No different today.
So caught at the junction, still waiting for medicine. The sweat of my brow keeps on feeding the engine. Hope the crumbs in my pocket can keep me for another night.
Just imagine that for a second. These people are at a mine in the middle of nowhere and they're waiting at a crossroads, literal crossroads, waiting for medicine to arrive. Like, this is how ill-equipped this mine was. Yeah. People did it hard to live in these places. They had no money to start with. That's why they worked there. That's why they lived there. And God, they suffered for it.
And if the blue sky mine what the company wants, and nothing's as precious as a hole in the ground.
Sorry, but that line gets me. I remember my dad singing that. Nothing's as precious as a hole in the ground. Imagine being a worker and feeling that if there's a disaster, these people may or may not come to save you. And it all comes down to the dollars. And nothing's as important as the dollars that come in from essentially the hole in the ground. You are more important. The hole in the ground is more important than you. This is absolutely atrocious. They pray for sense and reason. Is that too much to ask for?
We got nothing to fear. In the end the rain comes down. In the end the rain comes down. Washes clean the streets of the blue sky town.
And of course that was metaphoric, that the rain comes down and cleans the streets of the town, because generations later, it's still not clean. Ultimately, the rain that rained on them ended up being toxic and contributed to all of their health problems. And the companies did everything for tooth and nail to stop from paying these people the compensation that they were deserved. And that says nothing for the people that actually died in the huge death tolls, which, as I said, our government could have avoided because they knew in the 1920s how dangerous asbestos was. And they still chose to start asbestos mines and then literally build houses out of asbestos that we are still dealing with today. In fact, one of my biggest pet peeves with our government is asbestos removal. We have to pay huge, huge amounts to remove asbestos. It has to be removed safely. It has to have all sorts of, safety precautions put in place, and everyday Australians foot the bill of that. And then we spend a fortune to actually dispose of that once we have removed the asbestos from our house if we want to renovate or so forth. It's absolutely disgraceful. The government started this, and I have always been a believer that at the very least, the asbestos, once you've removed it, should be free to get rid of. The government should take care of that, I believe. Anyway, that's my anti-government rant for the day. I'm not usually one to do these things, but there are some times when they're just really, really, really wrong. So let me know what you guys thought of that one. Let me know if you guys have any other requests, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
I don't like no whips and chains. You can't tie me down.